G'day guys, today we're going to be doing a walk around of my 79 series Landcruiser. It's been about 5 years since the last walk around and a lot's changed since then, so I want to give you a bit of an update. And it's also sort of like a 10-ish year review, 100,000k review. So the biggest change since the last walk around I did is I've done the 300mm chassis extension and then put the Norwell Deluxe tray on the back with canopy package. And I also at the same time did J-Max rear diff correction. Most people know the diffs on the back of a Landcruiser are narrower on the rear than the front, and a lot of people like to correct that. If you're doing a lot of towing, I think yes, 100%. I notice a difference, especially when I tow the boat on the back. If you're not doing that and it's just a run around, look, I don't think you need to do it. The cars drive fine without it. But once you get them to this limit of loading them fully and towing something really big, you do notice they handle a lot better on the road with that rear diff correction. Same with the chassis extension. When you bring those wheels back under the center of your canopy or closer to the center of your canopy, they just handle a lot better on the road because you've got a bit more weight over the front end. If I did build another 79, I would do both those things for my use case. Suspension's the same. I've still got a 395 GVM upgrade in it with a 2-inch lift. Tyres have changed a little bit. I used to have 285s with a 16-inch rim. Now I've gone to a 295/70 with a 17-inch rim. Do I notice any difference? Not really. I just like the 17-inch rims. I think they look good. And then I went that tyre just a tiny bit bigger. It was more just a choice at the shop when I was there, and I don't think it makes any difference. So on the back, I've got the Norwell tray and canopy package. This thing's bloody brilliant. Heaps of storage. It's a great little kitchen for roadside stops, and even just when you're camping for a whole week, you can live out of it. Really good thing. Up the top, I've got the slide down pantry, as well as a travel buddy. We love the travel buddy for doing little cook-ups while we're driving in the middle of the road. And we've done a couple of dinners in it as well. So we've got the Energize Extreme package in there. That comes straight out of the factory at Norwell there, all done, finished, so you don't need to do anything. You just drive away and use your canopy. And it's got a 40 amp charger, 400 amp hours of lithium, all your plugs for USB-C, USB-A, cigarette lighter ports for charging stuff, a 2000 watt inverter on the other side, the full package, exactly what you'd want for a big trip around Australia or long weekends away camping. We had 200 amp hours for the last probably 3 years. And look, it's a doable amount of power, but to have that extra little bit of backup for longer stays and if the car's parked up for a few days really does make a big difference. We're also heavy on the power use. We use induction cooking, charging lots of camera gear and all that sort of stuff. So to have that extra power is a really good luxury. And if you were doing a full-time touring around Australia or something, I would say go with that extra package. So here on the other side, looking at the Norwell canopy again, a few things you can see on this side. You got your water filler at the top here and tap at the bottom. It's got a 58 litre water tank underneath. That comes standard with all their deluxe trays on your extended 200s, 79s, that sort of stuff, and your American trucks. If you go with the like more standard dual cab like a Hilux, a BT50, that sort of stuff, you get about a 40 litre tank under there, but that all comes standard, as well as the rear drawer and your toolboxes. This one's got the 2 toolboxes. Because it's extended, you get that extra bit of gap at the front there, and they put a box there. Boxes are waterproof, dust proof, all that, so you chuck a heap of gear in there, close them up, forget about them. Really good. So part of the Energize Extreme wiring package from Norwell, you get a 2000 watt inverter. That's great. Plug an induction cooktop into it, camera gear if you're charging that, drones, all that sort of stuff. It's a really good bit of kit to take with you. Make sure you can charge those household and use those household items and have 240 volt when you're off grid. So up here we've got the Expedition 134 specific shelf from Norwell. So that way we can slip our Expedition boxes in there. In and out, no dramas. We load them with heaps of gear and swap them between boat and car and all that. So good solution. You can fit 4 of these up here, I believe. So if you're doing a big trip and you've got a heap of gear, you can put four in there and pull it out. Maybe one's got, like kids' toys in it. One's got, whatever else. Go for it. Good way to organise all your gear. Big drawer on this side as well. We've got it sorted with a heap of crash pad gear. These crash pods fit in there perfectly and just mean that we can keep it nice and neat and tidy. Induction cooker slipped in the middle there, and usually got a few chairs on top of that when we're not parked up. That drawer as well is a lockable drawer, so you can use that to store a gun in maybe, or something you want to lock away while you're at camp. So on the back we've got spare tyre and spare jerry can holder. and the ladder. I use the ladder to get up to the rooftop tent, so I don't carry the other ladder that comes with it. I find that's plenty, of access. And then we've got the crash pad bin bag. Great for, you obviously want to take all your rubbish away when you go camping. You don't want to leave anything anywhere. And then you put a heap of rubbish in that. It's got a bag inside it. You lift straight out and just tip into a bin when you get home. So on top of the canopy, we've got crash pad, loft, rooftop tent, and a destination 4-wheel drive 270-degree awning. The rooftop tent, that's a bit of luxury when you're away. It is comfy as hell, and all the boys on this trip been pretty jealous of it. I think when you're up on top of the car, especially in North Queensland, you get that little bit of extra breeze, keep you cool, which is nice. And then also to be up away from crocodiles and stuff like that while you're sleeping, that might make you sleep a little bit easier at night. The 270-degree awning, look, that thing's bloody unreal. If you want quick shade, that's what you get, but it's not just quick, it's strong as hell. You don't need to peg out a heap of poles when you put it out. Rain runs straight off it, so it's a set up and forget while you're at camp product. Really, really good. 100% Australian made, Australian canvas, made in Cairns. Like, you can't get much better. And the same with the canopy as well. 100% Australian made in Cairns. We love supporting local companies. Right, so on top of the cab, we've actually chucked a roof rack up there. I didn't have that for the first 4 or 5 years of owning the car. It's an ARB base rack. I've really liked having the roof rack, just somewhere extra to throw the max tracks, have a solar panel. I found swapping between a rooftop tent and a boat, like a tinny on top, which we do a lot. My solar panel was just a real pain. So chucking it on the roof rack there means that I don't have to swap the solar panel out when I change between setups. Same with the max tracks, they stay up there all the time. And then we've actually got a little Starlink Mini mounted up there at the moment as well. Not everyone's cup of tea for camping, but when we're away for 2 weeks, we've still got work to do and speak to the family and stuff. It is a nice luxury. So I didn't have these mirrors when I did the last video, the MSA towing mirrors. I found getting the bigger boat, I wanted to see it when I was towing it, and these guys make a huge difference for that. They pull out and fold out and just give you that extra bit of reach. They're also a lot nicer looking than the factory ones, I reckon. The old bit of steel that hangs off here and rusts on the side of your car. So great little upgrade. They're also electric too, so I can adjust the mirror from inside if I'm full driving or I want to back the boat or something like that. Good feature to have. So on the front, we've got the TGM Outback bar. We've had that on there since the car was brand new, including the side brush rails and then the side steps as well, all one big package. Colour coded, same as the car. I like the silver on silver. I think it's a good look. Light force spotlights, they've been great. Been on there for years, never had a drama. We've got the Runva winch under there. I believe it's a 12,000 pound winch. It's towed me and the boat out of a few scenarios now. Of course, we've got the GME aerial on the front, the radio I've always had. They're bloody brilliant, tough, heaps of features on the handheld inside. We'll show you that as well. AirTech snorkel. I've had the AirTech snorkel on there since new. A lot of people go to Safari. I like the way the AirTech looked. So it also uses all the factory mounting. There was no cutting the guard, and it uses all the same mounting holes. So I fitted it myself, super easy. I would do that one again, I reckon. So I briefly touched on the wheels before. They're a 295 70/17, so obviously a 17-inch rim in the ROH Assaults. I'd never had alloy wheels on a 4-wheel drive, always had steel wheels, and it was just something I wanted to do to change the car up. When I did the big extension and everything, I gave the car a bit of a birthday, and new wheel and tyre package was part of that. We've got the Toyo Open Country MTs on there. They've been a really good tyre. I've been running them for about 70 or 80,000 Ks on the car now. I have been through a couple of sets of them. I've had one puncture in that time. Look, they wear out quickly on the back, but towing big loads and these cars are heavy in the back. I think that would be any tyre that you would use would wear out quicker on the back. Heaps of traction, great in sand, great in mud. Really happy with the Toyo MTs. So in the cab, obviously I've done heaps in here. If you know anything about 79s, they don't come with a lot of luxury. One of the main things I think most people would do is a head unit. I've got a Pioneer head unit just so I've got CarPlay and Bluetooth and all that sort of stuff that you don't get. Well, in this model I didn't get. I think in the newer 79s you do get CarPlay. But for me that was a big upgrade. I've done steering wheel upgrade, so I've got all my buttons on the steering wheel to control that. Really nice. And the newer model cruisers come with cruise control. Mine didn't in 2016, so I've added cruise control to it as well. Really nice for those long drives. Down here we've got the GME XRS. Great little thing. I've had that in the car since brand new, so That's, you know, getting on a few years old now and still does the job perfectly. Up on the dash, little dash organizer, another crash pad product, really good. We throw a spare GME radio in there when we're on the dirt roads. I'll run that on channel 40 and this guy on channel 16. So if I've got any trucks or anything I need to talk to, I can. And then one of the biggest upgrades people want in their Land Cruisers is cup holders. You get one measly cup holder right in the middle here. So I've chucked the one stone armrest on here. Really good armrest, comfortable for long drives, I really like it. But then also to have that cup holder there for a morning coffee or whatever, really, really good. These guys literally just magnet on there, clip on and off. So you can take them on and off if you want to. I wouldn't see any need to, but you know, really good thing. You're not drilling holes in your car, clip it on there, extra cup holder, extra comfort. Couldn't go wrong with those guys. This trip I've chucked back in the middle just a little center console fridge. I don't know if I had that in last time. I don't run it usually all trip, but at the beginning of a trip when we've got heaps of stuff in both fridges, that extra little bit of space is really good. I've got an ARB compressor underneath the seat here. Button on the dash, on and off, can pump all my tyres up. And then one last thing I've done in the cabin here is I chucked in some door pods with speakers in them. I ran the little factory speakers in here for heaps of years and they're absolute garbage. Doing the speakers is a great upgrade. So that's it. That's my 2016 79 series. 100,000 Ks on it now. Not many for how old it is, but you know, I use it pretty predominantly just for camping, and I've got a little work car for work. I'm super happy with it. I'm actually thinking about selling this car, and if I sell it, I'm going to get another 79 series, so that probably says a lot about it. Would I do anything differently? I would try and get a bigger GVM next time from the start. Mine was a pre-rego GVM 3950. I think now you can pretty easily get a 4200. I would definitely do that. Go for the biggest GVM you can if you're planning on setting it up like this. Obviously, if it's just a farm truck and you're just going to throw a few things in the tray, you don't need a massive GVM. But for a setup like this, I would definitely recommend it. I don't think there's much else I'd change. Like I said, I think if I sell this, I'll get another 79 series. So that pretty much speaks volumes for what I think of the car. So thanks for watching. If there's any questions at all about anything here, just chuck a comment down below and we'll get back to you. Cheers.